It's Saturday morning cartoons. Yeah, I like this. This is my Svengoolie t-shirt. But Rabbi Lamed Ben Clifford really appreciates the honor of being an official chicken thrower. Anyway, it's Saturday. Not only is it Saturday cartoons, but it looks like a science fiction story out there today. Anyway, we're trying to do what we can by being unable to prepare for the next bomb cyclone, which is due in just a few hours. So, but I'm here with you today, and I sort of opened up a can of worms yesterday concerning Enochian magic. Now, I know that probably very few of you are interested in, or some of you might not have even heard of Enochian magic. But yesterday we sort of explored how Enochian magic and the Kabbalistic aspects of the tarot sort of go together. Actually, they do go together quite well. And we actually opened up the Enochian quadrant of spiritual reality, the Enochian facet, because really it's all just one magical world. We just look at it through different glasses, you know, Kabbalah glasses, tarot glasses, Hindu, Chinese glasses, but we're all looking at the same thing. But each pair of glasses breaks what we're looking at up into different facets. Well, the facet that most of us are used to looking at here in ceremonial magic world is this tree of life diagram. That would be a pair of glasses that we're trying to look at God through a pair of glasses that's broken up into 10 major levels, and each of those levels from 10 to 1 are progressively higher levels or frequencies of consciousness until there's our head down there in 10, and till we get to the singularity or Godhead right there at number 1. And but Enochian magic looks at the same number 1, but it breaks it up into 30 levels, or Aethers, or heavens. And just as we opened up a specific, really low, see, I'm pointing at that lower left-hand square there, we opened up yesterday the lower left-hand section of that lower left-hand square, which in tarot world would be the princess, or the earth sub-element of discs, which is the element of earth, princess of discs. And there was an Enochian call, a specific Enochian call, number 5 actually, that I read toward the end of our talk yesterday, which is in essence recitation of that call, or chanting that call in a proper frame of mind, sort of triggers that portion of our own psyche, if not brain, psyche, that would naturally correspond to that particular level of elemental consciousness. And in the few moments of quiet receptive reverie, quiet meditation after recitation of that call, as if it was a mantra of some kind. We receive a vision. We do receive a vision. If you say you don't receive a vision, you're wrong. Whatever it is that's going on in your head is the vision, okay? That's a big mistake. People who try to scry. We would, many times over the years, would do a group Enochian working at Monday Night Magic class. And group workings for Enochian is not the ideal way to do it. It's a personal thing, but we do it as a group to get you into the practice and letting you know that you lived through it, and so that when you go home you can fine-tune your skills. But in a group setting, we'd do an Aether or which we're going to do today, do an Aether or something off of the elemental tablets or the tablet of union. And then we would, after 5 minutes of quiet meditation, after we all chant the preparatory procedure, protocol, we would share. We would go around the room and we would share our visions if we choose to share it with everybody. And there would be people that said, well, I saw this and a dragon came and picked me up, and I said, take me to show me what this error is about and what does it mean to me, and things like that. But others would say, I didn't see anything. I got nothing. And I have to sort of laugh. You got nothing? So what were you thinking about when in that 5 minutes we were quiet? Nothing. So you thought about nothing. You know, if you could think about nothing, you'd be Buddha. Are you Buddha? And no, what were you? Well, I wasn't thinking about anything. I was thinking about when I was at the grocery store, and you know, I was and that about the checker, and that she was rude, or she stuck my bananas at the bottom of the bag, or okay, so you were thinking about the grocery store and the checker. While that was going on, what was happening? What else did your mind wander to in that moment? Oh, it was crazy. It's just nothing. I was trying to get something, but all I could think about is when we used to go camping, and because at the grocery store I saw some graham crackers, and I remember when I would go camping with friends, and we'd sit around a circle to make s'mores, and how gooey the s'mores were. And what were the people around the campfire? Who were they? What did they look like? Well, they weren't really my family or friends. There were people in sort of red hooded robes, and they were singing. Okay, in other words, something was going on. A vision was occurring. You may as well assume that after you at least give it a good college try at intoning these calls, that everything that's going on in your mind for the next 5 minutes, say, is your vision. And the trick in scrying is not what's going to come automatically like a cartoon. You just switch a light switch on. It's already happening, and it's already happening in a language that you can understand if you can just observe it and have that observation register with you. That's the trick. It's not that it happens or doesn't happen. It's, are you observing what's happening? And the ceremonies that you may do in preparation, the protocols to open your space are just that, preparatory acts, just to prepare you to be relaxed enough to observe where you intend to go. So, and with the elemental ones, those are the 4 elemental tablets there in the middle. That concerns more or less the elemental nature of your life. But there is that tree of life that we could call 10 layers of heaven, or celestial spheres. Now, on the tree of life, there was those 10 levels, and there's guided meditations and traditional Kabbalistic God names and angels and spirits and intelligences that you can itemize and get yourself to. But you literally, in order to make that work, you literally have to raise yourself to the level of 10 or the level of 9 in order for you to switch on your receiver. Enochian magic looks at that same totality, only it looks at it as if it was 30 layers, 30 concentric circles. Now, I'm sure I just scratched this out this morning. There's not 30 there. But imagine that there's 30, like layers of a glass onion that surround the elemental world, going from the first circle there is the lowest. We drift in and out of that level of consciousness all the time. Probably some of you just listening to this are bouncing into that 30th lowest Aether right now. You hopefully you don't operate heavy machinery or drive on the freeway by consciously going into that 30th level. But it's something very normal. As a matter of fact, all of them are something normal. It's just that we haven't trained ourselves to consciously go there and consciously observe. Wouldn't it be nice if we could sort of work out enough, just like an athlete working out, to easily go to 30 and be comfortable in 30, so that next time you can push yourself a little farther, relax a little more, and go into 29 and 28 and 27. So, okay. That's sort of the theory of etheric workings, to systematically work your way from 30 all the way to the circumference there, which would be 1. So just as we did yesterday, I recited the 5th call that opened up the Earth subangle of Earth for us to take a peek at the spiritual essence of the Princess of Discs. There is an Enochian call for each of those 30 Aethers. Now I have to sort of amend that statement, because the 19th call of the Enochian system, that language, prayers, calls, cries, whatever you want to call them, the chant in the angelic tongue, the 19th call opens up each and every one of those 30 Aethers if you just change one word in the opening phrase of the call. In English, you would translate, "O you heavens which dwell in the first Aether." And then there's the whole call that follows. And after you do it a few times, it sort of starts to roll off your tongue. And if you do it enough, you can actually go to the British Museum and look into Dee's mirror. And if you're quiet enough, before the docent comes and kicks you out, you can actually do it while looking into Dee's mirror. But that's another event. Anyway, for the second Aether, or the 29th Aether, it's the second going up, you would change in the angelic language, you'd be saying, "Oh, you heavens which dwell in the second Aether," and you give the title of the second Aether. And that's the only word that changes. And then you get into the rhythm of chanting the 19th call, the rest of the 19th call. Now, everybody, myself included, was concerned initially that, oh, what if I pronounce it wrong? The words, there's multiple consonants, and and it looks weird. But actually, it is a language with grammar and syntax and everything else. It blows the minds of linguists who are used to thinking that it's almost impossible for human beings to invent whole cloth a viable language. But Dee and Kelly did, or it was dictated to them in the 1580s. And but that's another story. What if you'd say it wrong? Well, if you give it a good try, you're not saying it wrong. And I know many magicians will argue with me about this, saying, "Oh, there's a perfect way you say it. If you say it wrong, what forces you can unleash on the..." Well, if that's going to stop you from doing it altogether, you'll never do it. Okay? The Golden Dawn saw that the awkwardness of these Enochian words, and the words were translated for Dee and Kelly, and they into English, and they translate quite well. The Golden Dawn said, well, it's really hard. Look at this word, S-O-N-F, sonf. Why don't we sort of tear a page out of more modern Hebrew pronunciation and sort of add a vowel sound, A-E-I-O-U, after these, side-by-side consonants. So instead of ol sanf, we'll say ol sonuf or ol sanufa. So instead of ol sanvorgi, it's ol sanuf vaol resaji. Okay, I know it rolls off the tongue better. Sounds almost Italian. Ol sanuf vaol resaji, hoo yad blata. instead of Ol sont forgi et advalt. And for years, because I was learning from the basic material that Crowley had organized and published in the Equinox, which was sort of built, expanded on what the Golden Dawn had done. I learned the first call using the Golden Dawn method. Olsanu faru saji gohu iad balata. Whenever you say Z, you'd say Zud. Olsanu saji gohu iad balata. Elanusaha ke elazod. Sobra zod ol reita na zada pesada. Giraata maele parege. Das soel ko ka no tahoa zoda mezod. Instead of Zims, zoda mezod. It's pretty cool. And it works, okay? It works just fine, okay? And for the first few years that I did Enochian both privately and as part of an ongoing workshop at Monday night class, it works just fine. Later on, as I became more familiar with the original D and Kelly diaries and such, first of all, a friend was kind enough to send me microfiche copies from the British Library. It became clear that the angels were trying to give Dee and Kelly hints as to the proper pronunciation, and it seemed pretty clear they just more or less wanted Dee and Kelly to sound out the letters as they stand. So I started to change my procedure to do a pretty straight letter for letter translation and to try to work it out as best as I could. So instead of adding all of those extra vowel sounds, I just said, well, maybe Enochian angelic language does sound a little more like Klingon, okay, than Italian. It's a combination of Klingon, French, and Portuguese. But anyway, so since that date, I've been using that pronunciation, and that's the one I encourage people to learn, and it works fine. Okay, but because they both work fine, and believe me, some of the greatest visions that class had ever had in group scryings have been followed by the most horrible, butchering attempt at reading the calls from different class volunteers. I remember one evening, because every week we'd go around and said, "No, this week you read it, and we'll scry after you read it." It was awful, okay? And some of the people at class were laying on the floor trying to get into a meditative, receptive mood. And bless his heart, the volunteer butchered every word, but you could still hear that he was trying to hit every one of those consonants, and we were all suppressing laughter, and you could hear people laying on the floor going and by the time the volunteer was through reading it, we were all high as a kite. And the visions that followed were clear, and many of them profound as we shared them. So I've come to the conclusion that any attempt to speak the angelic tongue impresses the angels. If we want to look at it this way, each of these specific calls is equivalent to the school song of the specific set of angels. And they appreciate, it gets their attention. Oh, somebody is butchering our school song. So, let's pop in there and see who it is, because the rest of the universe isn't even trying to sing our school song. Singing the school song brings the specific angels in, and they drag their level of consciousness with them into the room that you're sitting in. Maybe just out of curiosity. You know, there's 15,000 galaxies, and tonight, this is the only one singing our school song. We better show up and bring our consciousness with us. And while you're wallowing in the consciousness that they bring, that frequency of consciousness that is saturating the room, you have your vision. At least that's one way of looking at it. And why would these angels come? And why would they honor you with their presence with a butchered rendition of their school song? Look, if a mouse crawled up on your shoe and started to talk to you, you wouldn't care if it had a thick accent. You'd just be fucking impressed. And you would turn your attention, your gaze, your ear to what was coming out of that mouse. Anyway, let's break the hymen of the heavens with a recitation of the 19th call in such a way that it opens up that very first lower heaven, which is called Tex. T-E-X. I hear some of you out there laughing already, but Tex is the 30th Aether. It's the one that opened wide the door to the heavens. Tex is so close to the elemental world already. I mean, it's literally just touching the corners of it. That there are 4 governors or spiritual angels that represent the totality of qualities of that Aether. There's 4 of them. But all the other Aethers, all the other 29 Aethers have 3 governors, a total of 91. And those 91 angels, governors of the Aethers, also have a direct duty on the parts of the earth, our spherical earth. 91 parts of earth, 91 governors. Those parts of the world, parts of the earth, are named the names of those 91 governors. And if you want to try to kind of see where you're at, if you would try to understand this all from a tree of life aspect, we'd look at it this way, okay? This is the 30th Aether, okay? And it has 3 governors, or 4 governors. One, and then this triad, and this triad, and this triad. And then you would crumple this up, that whole one, this 30th Aether there with all those governors, and you would make it, that crumpled up piece of paper, you'd make it the Malkuth of the 28th Aether, and the 3 governors, 3 sets of governors of the 29th Aether would be the supernal triad ones. They're like that. And then you'd crumple that one up and make it the Malkuth of the next highest, and crumple that one up and make it the Malkuth of the next higher. Are you following that? Anyway, it's Saturday morning cartoons. I've already gone a half hour. Don't be operating any heavy machinery. I'm going to read the call of the 30th Aether for you. If you're following along, it's in this book and many others. And I'm doing it with the pronunciation of just the letters themselves, not the Golden Dawn type letter. Madrias dies prof tex. Kis mi kaols, sener kaosgo, od fifis balzithras yada. Nonca gohulim, mikma adoyan mad, yaod bliorb. Soba ua auna kis luciftias peripsal. Dies abresa non ni taib kaosgi. Otil bad fe damplas, tuat nons gi mikalzoma, eras taf glo marbiari ido ego. Otel zöl piadaf, gohol, kaosga tabierd siner. Ad Christios il poil tiobel bezdil tib noan, paidors bad od remni zilna. Elzap tilb, parmgi peripsax. O taquels buapes el nibem ucho simp. Ad Christios algel tortor mirque tiobel lilel, ton pem dilsmo aspian. Ad Christios agel tortorn paracas simp. Gordziz, dod palod fifis el smenad, od farcht bams mawas, kunisbra vavax tonug. Orsket tibel noasmi tabjes levith mong, unchi omp, tilbors, bagley, muwa ol kordziz, el capimao, ixomaxip, od kako kasab gose, baglen piti anta ababeland, od farcht teluk vovim. Madriax torzu, o adriax, o rocha abro apri, tabeori priar zar tabas adre pancurs tidubix, iol cam priasiar coasior, od quas que ting. Repair paax agocor, umel ad pridzarc coie oive compt. Torzu, zakar ad zamran sipsi butmona, dies Surzos tiabalton o do sikleque o da zasma plapli yad namad. There are 4 governors in the 30th Aether. These are characters that may appear in your vision to show you around. Old Vanu Odzakam Ilsge Ta Ogla Gemnimb Advorpt Dazinal. Old Vanu Odzakam Ilsge Ta Ogla Gemnimb Advorpt Dazinal. Odosikleque. Until tomorrow for Sunday school, continue to be good to yourself, be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will.